Friends, this summer I published Christmas Winds Grant a Wish. It's a very special, dear story to me. I wrote it while my father was receiving cancer treatment, and he ended up illustrating it. I made it into a scrapbook, photo book, Christmas present for my mother, and then since then, I thought this is a story I think needs to be shared. With the war in the Ukraine, it's making me think of all the Ukrainians that have had to leave their homes in the midst of this war. I can't imagine getting settled in a new country. This Christmas story is about my mother learning to adjust to her family culture, celebrating Ukrainian Christmas, while also getting to know North American Christmas. The 3 o'clock Friday bell rang, marking the end of the first week back at school after the Christmas break. Immediately, there was a chain reaction of chairs scraping on the floors, buzzing voices from tired children, lockers opening and slamming, and repeated farewells echoing. "Goodbye, Mrs. Jones. Have a good weekend." In 5 minutes, the hall emptied, except for one round-faced grade 2 girl named Olga. Her friends knew her as O because of the first initial of her name and because she loved circles, dots, and pom-poms, which Olga pulled her favorite purple wool hat over her curly hair. Bundled in her puffy jacket, she struggled to reach her purple mittens on the top shelf. Her teacher came to the rescue. Mrs. Jones handed the mitts to Olga, noticing that her usually vibrant saucer-like eyes were downcast. "Olga, you seem sad, and it has taken you longer than usual to get ready, dear. What is wrong?" asked Mrs. Jones in a soft voice. "Nothing, Mrs. Jones." Olga's voice cracked the tiniest bit. I'm fine." "Did you have a fun holiday, Olga?" "It was quiet. I have to get going," responded Olga quickly, picking up her school bag and heading for the door. "Thanks for the help, and have a good weekend." In a minute, the large school doors opened, and frosty Mother Winter exhaled a cold and windy gust of snow, engulfing Olga for the long walk home. Chilled by the draft, Mrs. Jones stood still, filled with questions and worry. Things aren't quite right with Olga. I hope she's okay." Olga pulled her hat further over her forehead and wiggled her scarf higher around her face. She walked along the main street, staying close to the storefronts, peeking into the windows and looking at the remains of the Christmas displays. This weekend marked Ukrainian Christmas, which landed 2 weeks following the traditionally Western December 25th date. Olga dreamed of what she would like for Christmas. It was a tough time of year for Olga. During the first week back from school, she listened to classmates talk about their celebrations, treats, and toys. In some ways, this sparked Olga's anticipation for Ukrainian Christmas, but it also saddened her knowing that as struggling new immigrants, her parents could not afford much. She had never even had a Christmas tree. Olga also knew their celebrations would be quiet, since she had no brothers or sisters, and her parents could only take an odd evening off. They were always busy preparing food and serving customers at their cafe, the Plump Pierogi. Holidays often left her feeling lonely. She turned the corner, entering the alley that led to her parents' cafe and their second-floor apartment. The alley was a wind tunnel, and on this extremely cold day, Olga's round rosy cheeks felt like two hard red suckers. Oh, she squeezed her eyes shut and tried to salvage the strength to make the last 50 meters as if she was on a blind trust walk, squinting occasionally to make sure that she was still heading towards her target. Oh, looking through her very cold eyelashes. When she was 10 feet away from the gate leading to the backyard of her home, she opened her eyes. Wow, she gasped. In the alley, propped up against her neighbor's shed, was a tall, silver-sprayed spruce tree with the remains of thin silver tinsel blowing in the wind. The tree was double Olga's height. "You are the most beautiful tree I've ever seen," whispered Olga as she touched the soft branches. "I wish that I could bring you home for our Christmas this weekend. But you are so big and..." Oh! Suddenly an enormous gust of wind lifted the tree off the ground. It was suspended in the gray snowflake sky for what seemed to be an eternity. "Oh, don't go, dear Christmas tree," whispered Olga. As if it was listening, it gently drifted down and landed with the trunk at her gate and the tip pointing towards her feet. "Oh, what a treasure, a gift," giggled Olga. "You're not finished your work yet. You're gonna come home with me." Olga adjusted her backpack, opened the gate, bent over, and with all her might lifted the base of the tree trunk. She shuffled backwards, pulling the tree into her yard. In her puffy jacket, topped by her purple hat, and struggling on her tiny legs, Olga looked like a giant Christmas ball dragging the huge evergreen. The path to the back door was covered with deep, dense snow. Olga's feet felt like they were in heavy cement, and she had to wiggle them free with each step. Suddenly, Olga lost her balance and fell face down in the snow. Her heavy backpack weighing her down, the snow crystals felt like sharp glass on her already frozen cheeks. She began to cry, struggling to get up with no success. Panic took over. All she could think about was drowning in snow. Trying to lift her head above the drifts of snow to get air, she called out to her parents, "Mom, Dad, help me, please." She heard the back door open and then feet stomping down the shoveled steps. She felt her father's strong hands grab her under the arms and pull her upright. He pulled her close to his chest against his white apron, wiping the cold snow and tears off her burning cheeks. "Olga, my goodness, what nonsense! What are you up to? What have you brought home this snowy afternoon?" he said, looking at her with stern eyes. "Oh, Daddy, please, don't say anything more. We have been granted the most wonderful treasure. The wind heard my wish and blessed us with a Christmas tree. Oh, please, Daddy, please, can we keep it?" Olga's father looked down at the mangy tree. "You managed to drag this tree through our backyard. You are such a strong girl." Rubbing his chin, he said, "I wonder." "Please, Daddy," Olga did not give him a chance. I know what you're thinking. We have no Christmas decorations, but we can use popcorn and marshmallow strings, and you know all the pom-poms I've made. We could use them as Christmas ornaments." Her father grinned. "How can I refuse an offer like that, my dear Olga? Yes, it will be our first Christmas tree." Olga and her parents spent the night singing carols, stringing popcorn and marshmallows, and decorating that precious Christmas tree. At bedtime, she looked out the window, whispering, "Thank you, Christmas winds, for granting my wish. And let's hope our new Canadian friends with different customs and cultures enjoy this wonderful season of the Festival of Lights.